This is one of those situations of going into a title and having absolutely no knowledge of the game beforehand. I just started playing Hell Is Us, and it's a game that very much intrigues me. Another one that just seems to be joining that quality B tier of games that we've been seeing this year, the rise of the AA, or rather the return of it. I started up Hell Is Us, and before I even got into any sort of combat, I was interested, invested, and I wanted to know more. It captured my attention through its hands-off approach, the story and narrative, along with even having just a simple set of conversations with an elderly man. I didn't know what the rest of the game had in store for me, but with so many options, with so many things available to us to play today, count me very intrigued on this title, and that is a very good thing. Something else I was seeing early on was how much I really liked it was sort of building up to. I felt like I was being eased into this world, even one that outright was just saying how hands-off it was, especially with its guidance. The way in how things are structured, I would argue it felt more organic, at least initially based on what I was playing. I would encounter someone and engage in a conversation, and then I would learn more about the world, what was going on a bit more, along with how to further what appeared to be my main objective, all the while with this mystery of what's going on and how you and the world all play into this. Things felt organic. Markers would be used to help the player to see what objective they needed to do, but it was through conversations that the context would then be applied, like coming across trees with marks on them, but after talking with someone you kinda knew what those trees then were leading to. It makes even those initial decisions rather more personal, as we are just getting introduced to this world. I hadn't picked up any of the weapons yet. I was just exploring, talking, learning, and having a really good time.
It's a true serum. It's still experimental, hence the polygraph.
Hell Is Us feels like something where I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and another element of, okay, what is even going on here? The very start is something we have seen before, an interrogation with what I'm guessing is a point within the story then now, and also guessing too that you're gonna work your way up to this interrogation at some point. Maybe it's halfway through the game, or at the very end, I have no idea. But that sort of framing is an interesting one, because you know that your character gets there at some point. Why is he there, and again, what is going on? These types of things kind of create this mystery just from the outset. I should back up to clarify a bit better. From a world and plot perspective, it's very much what is going on. Gameplay-wise, there is a familiar element, along with just wandering around. This might be a game that ends up being a bit of a wake-up call for many modern new players. And I don't mean that in a bad way. If you're someone who seeks games out, or longs for someone that doesn't want something that holds your hand, Hell Is Us appears to be one such title. Even at the very start, they make a huge point to be like, hey, we are not providing traditional objective markers to tell the player where to go and what to do. This is a very figured out type of mentality here. The combination of that type of older style and design along with the notion of the world being this giant mystery. And at the start it hits a lot of these parts and scenes where the player is either in a level wandering around or in some cases just not knowing what to do here. Personally, I find all of this very inviting. It made me want to delve deeper into Hell Is Us. It was grabbing my attention. I am noticing that Hell Is Us isn't the only AA game released this year with hands-off approach to it. We even saw this with the likes of the underrated Atomfall. It would seem AA is smartly looking at what AAA is providing and then seeing how they can fill in those holes left by that part in the industry. Which is why I talked about the rise or even just the return of the mid-tier, the B-tier. We need games like this. This sort of stuff now is very interesting and even much more than the AAA space. Playing Hell Is Us, I'm getting involved in a title that feels very player-focused and achieving that player discovery as well. Don't be surprised if you have to do a bunch of reading in certain spots to often get past a puzzle, because in some cases you might be up against a puzzle that appears very vague or hard and can be tackled fairly well if you pay attention to what the game is even providing the player. As someone who's not really a big reader, I even had to remind myself this too. It doesn't seem like nonsense sort of stuff was put into this game, but more so how the developers were trying to make best use of their space, and then how that works into the figuring it out type of design. Playing these types of games with this type of stuff can result in frustration, and that's just a given, but allowing for that room to then have that player achievement and figure it out, it makes for those very memorable and personal moments. This might end up being a situation where this might not be a game for every gamer, but rather a game that every gamer should at least try. Some of this stuff also appears to be familiar in the soulish kind of combat. I really like the drone that you have with you. It can be used at the start to stun or distract enemies, making multiple foes more manageable, and even some singular foes kind of easy. The combat honestly feels good, swings are satisfying, there's room for dodges, parries, and blocks. Just looking at my footage you can see the Souls-like influences, but at least at the start I wouldn't necessarily call this a Souls-like game, if that makes any sense. So here I am, playing this game, left wondering about so many elements about it, and not even really fully understanding all the parts that I have played so far. But it has done a good job in both trying to invite me in, and then hook me in a way that makes me want to continue on. It's one of those effective introductions from both a narrative and story perspective, along with how it plays out from the gameplay, its world, and designs. Am I enjoying it? Yes. Do I feel a bit lost? Of course. But it's something that has me asking a lot of questions, wanting to see where it goes, and maybe where it ends up being where the journey was more enjoyable than the destination, depending on how it all turns out, especially for me. But with so many options for games to play nowadays, and we're also getting into this stacked fall period, I would recommend for those looking for something a bit different, wanting to figure it out a bit for themselves, well then I'd say look and continue to support the year of AA. Between Atomfall, this, and Expedition 33, along with others that I'm probably forgetting about right now, we as gamers are looking for something a bit different. We seem to be getting it from developers just like this. Let me know if this is a game you'd like to see me keep going with and talking about. Have you personally played Hell Is Us? Is this something that interests you? What are your thoughts on both as someone who is just an observer just watching this, or if you've had a chance to actually play the game? Let me know all this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.